Hey everyone, this is Collin from Blind Spectrum, and today we will be showing you how to enable Hyper-V Hypervisor on Windows 10. So let's go ahead and get started. First we need to go to the Start menu and type in Turn Windows Features On and Off.
Start window, or turn Windows features on or off, control panel 1 of map.
There it is.
Unknown, Windows features, OK button, Windows features tree view, .NET Framework 3.5.
This is a list of features that you can turn on or off by checking the boxes. So we're going to find Hyper-V.
.NET active container data center device guarded host Hyper-V checkbox selected check closed.
Alright, right there. If you are enabling this on your system, you would be checking that box, and then it will prompt you to restart to finalize and get it enabled for you. So since I already have it enabled, we'll just switch over to Hyper-V now.
Malwarebytes tray application.
Alright, so after you've restarted your computer, you want to go to the Start menu
Start window.
and type in Hyper-V.
A Hyper-V manager.
And it'll show Hyper-V Manager.
Unknown. Hyper-V manager. Tree view. Level 0 hot.
And now, on the left-hand side, you'll see a list of computers. My computer name is ALT-01, and that will be the computer we're choosing to manage for the virtual machines. So now we need to add our first switch. So we're going to go to Actions,
Quick create.
and we're going to go down to Virtual Switch Manager.
New sub import virtual Hyper-V settings. Virtual switch. Virtual switch manager.
Right there we go.
New virtual network switch. New virtual network switch.
Alright. So now we just need to click on Create.
What type of create virtual switch button Alt plus.
There we go.
New virtual switch selected collapsed Broadcom BCM 943228 HMB 802.11 app 2x2 Wi-Fi adapter.
Okay, so this is selecting my Wi-Fi adapter. That is fine. I'm currently connected to a Ethernet cord, so that adapter is free. You can select whichever ones you have available. And let's see here.
Name, edit Alt plus.
We're just going to type in for the name external, because that will allow us to connect out to the internet after we select it down below.
EXTRLAL. Notes, edit.
We don't need to put any notes in.
Connection type grouping, external network, radio button checked Alt plus E.
So this is where, under connection type, you will see external, internal, and private. External will allow you to basically connect your virtual machines out to the internet. Internal allows you to connect your computer internally, or your virtual machine internally, to your computer. And private basically allows only virtual machines to talk to each other. So let's go ahead and choose external.
Inteler, Broadcom BC.
I don't know why it did that.
External network, radio button checked Alt plus.
There we go. Alright, so now we're just going to go to Add.
Combo box Broadcom B. Allow management operating system to LAN ID grouping. Enable virtual.
We're going to leave these settings alone.
Remove button Alt plus O. OK button Alt plus O. Cancel button. Apply button Alt.
We're going to say Apply.
Apply networking changes dialog. Pending changes may disrupt network connectivity. This computer may lose its network.
Okay, that's just saying that we may lose network connectivity. We're just going to go ahead and say yes.
No button up. Yes button Alt plus Y. New virtual switch selected collapsed. Applying changes. New virtual switch selected collapsed Broadcom BCM 943228 HMB 8.
Alright, now we're just, I believe, going to go to OK.
Name, notes, connection type, combo box, allow management, LAN ID, remove button, OK button, Alt plus O, Hyper-V manager, tree view, Alt 011 of 1 level.
And now we have successfully configured a external switch for the internet for our new virtual machine to be put on. Next is actually creating the virtual machine. So we're going to go to Actions.
Quick create.
And we go down to New.
New submenu N. Virtual machine, M.
And we're going to say virtual machine.
New virtual machine wizard. Do not show this page again, checkbox not.
Alright, so this is just saying welcome to Hyper-V, and you can read that if you would like. But we're just going to say next.
Next greater button Alt plus N. Name, edit Alt plus M. Selected new virtual.
Alright, this is just where we're going to type in our name for the virtual machine. It can be anything. It can be descriptive if you want it. We're just going to call it Win10-BS.
WIN10-BS.
Alright.
Store the virtual machine in a different location, checkbox not checked, Alt plus S.
We're not going to check this option because if we wanted to store the virtual machine in a different disk, we could, but in my case, I only have one hard drive, so that won't work. So we're just going to leave that alone.
Less previous button Alt plus next greater button. Generation 1 radio button checked, Alt plus 1.
Alright, so this is where we can choose between Generation 1 and Generation 2. Generation 1 is considered legacy, so that means you can pretty much install any operating system, no matter if it's new or old, with this option. That gives you the older style BIOS, so the keyboard and enter to interact with the menus. Generation 2 gives you UEFI, so basically mouse and keyboard for the BIOS, plus secure boot. We're just going to leave this alone default for our needs.
More about virtual machine less previous button, next greater button.
There we go, next.
Startup memory, edit Alt plus M, selected 1024.
Since we're using Windows 10, we're going to specify 4 gigs of RAM, so that's 4096.
4096.
Alright, there we go.
Use dynamic memory for this virtual machine, checkbox checked, Alt plus U.
Alright, so using dynamic memory basically means that that virtual machine won't take up the full 4 gigs if it doesn't need it. It will give, let's say, 2 gigs back to the host system if it's only going to need 2 gigs. So we're just going to keep that checked.
Less previous button.
And then we're going to continue to the next.
Next great connection, combo box not connected.
Alright, so currently by default it is set to not connected, but we are going to select the external switch that we created earlier.
Expanded, connection, external.
There we go.
Less previous button, next greater button.
We're going to go next.
Use this option to create a Vhdx dynamically expanding virtual hard disk grouping. Name, edit Alt plus M. Selected Win10bs.vhdx.
Alright, so this is the default option. We're just going to leave it with that. Since we are using this for only Hyper-V, we're not introducing any other hypervisor into the situation. We're going to leave it as the default format, and it automatically inputs the name of your virtual machine you specified earlier, so that's fine.
Location, edit Alt plus L. Selected C, users public documents Hyper-V virtual hard disks.
So we're going to leave this default. We're going to keep it in the public directory, but as a note, that when you store things in the public directory, when you go to delete the virtual machine, if you need to do that, it will not delete the virtual hard disk, so you will have to go and do that manually. So we will go ahead and keep that default.
Browse, button Alt plus B. Size, edit Alt plus S.
We're going to keep the size as default at 127 gigs. Most Windows installations need about 30 to 35 gigs, but this is fine.
Less previous button Alt.
And we're going to continue next.
Next greater button. Install an operating system later radio button checked Alt plus L.
Alright, so I previously had downloaded a Windows 10 ISO from the Microsoft website using the media creation tool. And now we will be selecting CD/DVD-ROM and then selecting the ISO.
Install an operating system from a bootable CD/DVD-ROM radio button checked Alt plus.
There we go. Now we're going to tab and select ISO.
Media grouping. Physical CD/DVD drive. Radio button checked Alt plus image file. .iso. Radio button checked Alt plus I.
There we go.
Edit. Selected C. Users, queues, or documents.
Alright, so all I know is that it's going to search my documents. We're going to go browse, and we're going to select the Windows.iso.
Browse, but not. Open dialog file name. File name, combo. Audacity not selected one. Double Windows.iso 11 of 11.
There we go.
New virtual machine wizard. Media grouping. Edit. Selected C. Users, queues, or documents. Windows.iso.
Alright.
Browse, but Alt plus less previous button Alt.
Now we're going to just go next.
Next greater button unavailable. To create the virtual machine and close the wizard, click finish list.
Alright, so this will just give you a summary of what it's going to have, and we can then click finish, and then it will go ahead and create the virtual machine for us.
Less previous button finish button Alt plus F.
And
Creating new virtual machine. Configuring memory. Adding network. Link Hyper-V Manager. Virtual machines list. Win10BS. State. Off. Configuration version 8.31 of 1.
alright, and there we have it. We have created our first virtual machine on Hyper-V. Thank you for watching.